We always just start. It just happens. I don't like, oh, we're going to have an intro and we're going to talk about this or that or blah, 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 blah. Hi, it's Shelf Life time. I'm Joe. And as you notice, my shelves are empty. Why? Because I'm on break. I haven't had a break like this in forever. And I got a whole bunch of pages in my journal here for what we're going to be talking about today. The pen goes there. Maybe not. Maybe. There we go. That's cool. I lost this hat camping. This is probably my favorite hat of all hats of all time. This plain polo hat, quality goods. And I lost it camping, and then I got Christmas money, and I went and replaced it. And very happy once again. High quality stuff, intentionality. That's what this year is going to be all about. This is Shelf Life 17. And like I said before, we might be changing the name of it, but this is the year end. This is looking forward. This is the last episode of 2024, and we're going to be starting off the plans for 2025. All the cool book trends that are happening, and uh, yeah, where we're going to take it from here. I've been I haven't had, like I said before, I haven't had this amount of time off in a long time, and it's just been the relaxation is not catching up with me, but it's like I realize how little I ever. There's no relaxation, and it's kind of like a little daunting. It's rare that I have a whole lot of time off, but I have it now, and I went through and I started reorganizing everything. I took, as you can see right here, I had an old bookshelf that was I've had it for years, and it was in the art department next door with all the painting stuff. And I'm like, it's a storage bin, like, and I need more shelf life. So, but I've also been dealing with other media. Um, here, let's see. You can see down here, I have my little DVD collection, and I got rid of all my DVD players, but this one is one of those little portable ones. So I have like this little DVD curated nook. And then my wife, love her to death, she got me a record player. I've been saying for a long time I've been wanting to get into records. I had a whole bunch of records before that were my parents, and I, like every other fool, got rid of a lot of them. And I'm starting to curate my own. My wife encouraged me to get into the hobby, and I'm very gracious for that. But I needed a space for this. And up top, let's see up top, I have a whole lot of my own notes and journals and sketchbooks and what have you. But it's been nice to just like go through everything. But in looking at everything and all my books and like my important read area, we're going to be going together. We're going to be organizing it as a group. Like I said, I had a whole bunch of notes. I'm very organized, but I'm kind of disorganized today. Let's see. I want this to be the year of the plow. Okay, it's not going to be slow down, super analytical. There are some books that I want to get to this year that intimidate me, and they've been in my way, and it's about building base miles. So we are going to plow forward. We're going to plow through year of the plow, year of structure. We're gonna approach it with a plan because since I started making content, my reading has elevated like an insane amount. Um, and I've been having discussions with people, and I've been able to connect and like, oh, I'm not the only one who's getting lost at this part. Uh, what's kind of like it's been fantastic of a year, but let's keep on that trajectory. Let's keep this structure. So that's something we're in for. I had fun a lot joining book clubs and book groups and doing that, but I did notice that I would get turned. Like I I, I have like reading miles I want to get per se, and if I keep like just hopping on with all these clubs and books, I'm never going to get to the books that like I really want to get to. So a couple times this year that happened, I don't regret it, but it's like, hey man, you're getting lost in the weeds here. Let's get back on the main track. So I've kind of curated my own little 25 for 25, and it's lofty. For me, this would be a rough year, and I'm going to be documenting the whole year. It's like I'm getting ready for a race. Are we going to do it? I don't know. This isn't like a place thing. It's a we're here to finish. So before I do the big reveal of all the books, I made a took a whole bunch of pictures, and I made like a little stack of reel. It's gonna be on Instagram and TikTok, but I had to make all these quickie contents. But this is the long form, and it's the end of the year. What's the rush? And I'm on relaxation mode. I don't like have to go make lunch or go to work right now. So, oh, we haven't done our deep breath yet. Do you feel better? I feel better. Got my coffee. Mm. Let's talk about coffee. You guys drink it black? Do you put something in it? What's your mix? How do you make it? Coffee people. Let's go. Coffee and books go together. God, I wish we could still do cigarettes, but nope. Stand back. It's good to have that pull. But we took our deep breath. This part is just lists. All right, so let's talk about some goals. Let's talk about some goals before we get into the actual list of books. Um, I've been seeing on other influencers, people talking about books. It's all coming out right now. This is the highlight of content. What's your goals? Blah, blah, blah. My goal: less consumerism. Don't buy books. I have this has happened to me before, and now that I'm making content, it's a trap to just start buying a bunch of cool books. Don't do it. I did it with DVDs. I have stacks of DVDs in there that's just like I don't care about this. These ones I like, but it's like I can't just throw them all away. I did it with CDs. So we're in like a intentionality. This year is going to be about intentionality, minimalism, curated, high quality selection. I've done the minimalism purges before, and that's what got me to here. With no books, with no DVDs, with no raggers, no CDs. We're just gonna go minimal, hard, and then it's like you kind of went too hard, man. But now I'm back on the other side of it. It's like, all right, we're starting to do little collections, and it's like, stop, curate, intentionality. Is this going to bring value? So I have a lot of books, and not by any measure of like what other people can read or what they're doing. For me, 25 books in a year would be a year's worth of intentional reading. And I have, out of my old collections right here, plenty. So we don't need to buy nothing. I understand the dopamine hit of going somewhere and, oh, new books. And like, yes, this is it. This is that author I want. And walking up and boom, buying them. It's a trap. And it's a complete waste of money. And you have books on your shelf. So your wallet's going to thank you. Your brains, you don't even have to drive to the store. You don't need to look around. You have these books, man. And a lot of the books that you have, they've been on your list for a while, haven't they? Plow through them. Year of the plow. Let's go. Direct. Knife hand. Mm. So, I'm not going to also do the hard and fast. You can't buy books. Because it's like, I'm making a collection. I'm interested in first editions. I'm interested in rare pieces. I have an interest. This is a hobby. This is a place for me to hunt. So, excuse me again. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's talking with coffee. I don't know. I get a little every time. Maybe it's looking up, looking down. My apologies. Thank you for bearing with me. Like and subscribe. I see that recurring people are not subscribed. Please subscribe. Go ahead, take a minute. You aren't going to miss anything when you hit the button. Feel free right now. And guess what? A lot more stuff is coming. It's not just going to be like this. This is me like sifting through. What was it? 17 weeks, 4 months we've been doing this. We haven't even hit a year, baby. So we are going to be still gathering. But how? How are we going to put like not have guilt over, all right, this is what I want to accomplish, and it's okay. You could just buy something. Like, no, we're not going to do this. So I've created lists like through stacking up my want to read in Goodreads. I've made a list in my phone, so every time I'm in a bookstore, I have like a curated list because like I'll wind up at J and I'm like I can't think of one author name with J, or I'm at D and it's just like I'm wandering through and I get like this shopper's vertigo. So no, same thing with just I could just order that brand new on Amazon for $3. That's over. We're not unless it's like an emergency and it's like I'll explain it on this show because you're watching and you're subscribed now. But we're not going to be just like, oh, well, I happen to be walking through Barnes and Noble. Can't do that. Can't do that. That's cheating now. So I have a hunting list in my phone for books. Another thing, it's got to be cash. You got to do it with cash, and I prefer. And it's mainly you got to do it at a used bookstore. You got to get these bad boys used. You have to hunt them. The universe has to present them to you, and I think this is going to create fun, and it's going to get me out of my lanes of just going to Barnes Nobles, just ordering it online. Like it's going to get me into like, oh, there's an estate sale that they might be readers in there, or the Swap Shed where I got the Bell Jar, which is going to be on the list. Freebie, the Lost. What are they called? The little free libraries. We're going to be doing raids of little free libraries, just impromptu. Hey, got my phone, found one. We're going to go in it. We're going to see if there's anything we want. We're going to talk about the selection, and it's probably going to be about 3 minutes. That's something I want to be doing this year. Maybe once a month. Little library raids. We're going to curate. We're going to be the librarian, see if everything in there is good to go. And we're also going to see if there's anything in there for our needs and if there's anything we would like to leave. I think it's great. I think they're cool. I started seeing them pop up. I make book content. Let's get more involved. Another change that we're going to be having. I know I went straight from challenges of minimalism and consumerism into changes in the channel. And we're going to have changes and challenges. One being the Lost Soul Library. Two, we're going to have a new show. There's going to be another show along with this weekly in front of the bookshelf show. I might change the name of it from Shelf Life to something else. Something macaroni related, because this is Macaroni Books. That's not changing. If you have an idea for a pasta related book theme show that this show should be renamed, let me know. But we're going to be doing another show where I'm out and about in the world. Probably we're going to be starting off with hiking or camping or riding a bike or just being out in nature, but we're going to get out of the house. I think it's a fun mission to pack up, to go talk about something else, and to, specify. I don't know. We could talk about literally anything, but like I'm thinking the first new one is going to be on this book because I just finished The Tunnel yesterday and it is still percolating in my mind. It is a crock pot stew of thought I'm having, and I think because I have the time that we're going to be filming our new show in the next few days. And I had a couple ideas like we should be talking about journaling or stoicism or our writing practice. But I think just right off the bat, new show, we're going to focus on one book. Kind of like how we had the Infinite Jest episode that was a Shelf Life, but it was kind of different. I think we're just going to do some different stuff, feel out book specific reviews, extra show. But this is going to be, it might be monthly, it might be quarterly. We're going to be doing an outside, longer form. I'm doing something show where I walk around and, we'll see. But there's a new show coming where we're outside. Also, I have a fun challenge I've been looking forward to. This is kind of like setting up a race, but packing. Like whenever I go on trips and I pack, I try to peel back and go as ultralight and as minimal. You see these themes? These ultralight, minimal, what's the least we can get away with kind of a thing. And this year, I have a trip. It is coming up. I have a book that I'm going to be listening to in preparation for my trip. And here we go. Every year that I've gone, it's been like, oh, I'm going to come up with all these activities and how I want to read. And I just wind up carrying too much crap. So I want to challenge myself on this trip to no books. We're not going to bring a book to the airport. You have to buy one in the airport. You have to pick one, and you have to read the whole thing during the flight. Then, when you get to your destination, if you didn't finish it, and then bring it to a used bookstore at this place that I'm very interested in. I didn't get to go to last time. Buy a book there, bring it home. Just to get books freely and spontaneously as I travel, and to not carry them to just like currency. I think that's an interesting challenge. I think that's fun. I'm looking forward to that. That is not part of the 25 for 25, this list that we're going to be going through, but it is part of this year. So I'm excited for that one. I don't know what I'm going to do that week. There are those weeks there, but that's the challenge. It's the go to the airport with no book, pick one up, read it on the plane. Like, this is you don't get your curated selection. You have to be out in the world, Renaissance man. You know what I mean? uh, Tough to get. Yeah, my list for this year, it's going to be tough. It's like tough base building miles for reading. Like, a lot of these books have just been on my list. I've collected them, and quit being a poser. It's time to read these. And yep, a whole bunch of notes that I have for this that I was going to put into this video, but we're already 16 minutes in, and I think that's why our discussion about the tunnel is going to be the first of our outdoor shows. I think all we have to do now is go over what the list is. Here we go. Oh, and this is, I think, the second or third time I'm mentioning it. If you would like a list, like, you can take a picture or anything. If you would like a list of what I'm reading, there is going to be a one monthly. It's not a book club. There's not going to be any spot for discussion. But if I'm going to have a slip up or say something about a book and you kind of want to follow along, I've said the NSB, not spoken book club. I'll make a list of 12. If you want, fine. But the last of these books is what we're starting off January with. I don't know if it's stupid, but like I said, you're the plow. Can you guess what it is? Guess what it is? What are we starting with? It's not a book club. It's a gang. No. All right, and I just have these stacks. It's going to be all disheveled and messy. Let's see. Let's start with some big ones. First one, Elizabeth Bishop, Complete Poems. I've been following along with Yale Open Courses, and this was on the required reading. I read a couple things from Elizabeth Bishop this year, and I fell in love with that immediately. So, a little bit of poetry, out of the lane, different kinds of books, not just all modern, postmodern, or you know what I mean? I don't think I have any sci-fis in here. Here, no surprise here. Everyone knows I've been rocking and rolling. The Count, I started this year, but I want it finished 2025. I don't know when, I don't know where. Not necessarily a monthly. Oh, let's get some other big ones. Doris Lessing. I've been hearing a lot about Doris Lessing. Here, let's look at this cover. The Golden Notebook. This was on David Foster Wallace's syllabus. I like these pages too. Very matte finish. And if you've read any of these and you have suggestions on which order, or like you would love that, please let me know. Like, because I'm just going through them. Another one that was on that same list was Christina Stead, The Man Who Loved Children. I'm not looking forward to carrying this book around. Like, I bet it's great, but look at that cover. Look at the name of this book. It's a bad look, bro. Moby Dick. I've heard this is rough, but it also has the reader's guide. I think this is like the fifth copy of this I've ever had. And in high school, I had to do a big report on Melville and I skimmed and I cliff noted, and I just really didn't do my due diligence in high school with this. I kind of feel guilty about it. So I feel like I owe the reading community. No, I don't owe anybody anything, but it bothers me. So I kind of want to get back into Melville and read for that senior project. I remember specifically I had to read Moby Dick, Typee, and Omu, and write a whole thesis on this whole big paper on it, and I BS the whole thing. I got a great grade, but I BS the whole thing. It's always been like you've kind of a sham. Moby Dick's on the list. But I gotta dig for the big ones. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I cannot wait to start ripping into this one. This might. This is gonna be early in the year. This is gonna be early in the year. Everyone's been talking about it, and this was my last impulse buy. I was just like, I haven't been to the doctor in a very long time, and I went to the doctor and I did good, so I deserve a treat. So I went and bought this. Good job. You called me an appointment like an adult. Look how thin that is. Dubliners. Joyce. Past 2 days, this has been on the radar. It's like, do you want to rush through this or do you want to enjoy it? Let's put it in 2025. That'll be fun. Um, Sylvia Plath, The Bell Jar. And this is like the cover I wanted with the font and everything. This is the one I remember like seeing in high school, like just in libraries. Like this is in my head, the copy at the dump, free, free. This is what I'm talking about. I also got the Count of Monte Cristo at one of those free Lost Slow libraries, which I do use. I do put books into. Take a book, leave a book. Last Exit to Brooklyn, Hubert Selby Jr. This is the author of Requiem for a Dream, but we all know how I feel about movies and books. I like to keep them separate. Last year or this year, I don't know. I read The Moon is Down. Moon is Down was dope. That's probably my third of Mice and Men, The Pearl, The Moon is Down. Canary Row, Steinbeck. This will be my fourth Steinbeck. Uh, Not really a hardcover guy, but this is just a cool old book. I like the cover, and let's just who cares if it's a hardcover? It's cool. I like this old book. We want to get more into old books that have character. I had that DeLillo that was all written in. Loved it. It was fun. Hall of Fox, Desperate Characters. This was also on DFW's syllabus. Henry Miller, Black Spring. I don't know much about Henry Miller. All I know is that Henry Rollins recommended that I read this. I used to have a copy of Sexus, but I think that was part of a trilogy, but I don't know. It was humongous and way too intimidating of a humongous book. Probably the size of Lonesome Dove, and in my state of life when I had it, I'm not reading that. I am not going to disrespect this author's name by trying to pronounce it, but this is Fox. I think this was on the book club for a Life on Books podcast, and I just missed the month. I caught on late, and then I went back and I grabbed this. I think I bought this when I was reading Hard Rain Falling this year because I found out that they read it either right before or right after this. I grabbed it. I just never read it. So we're reading that this year. War. Celine. This was a recommendation along with. I don't know what this was with. I think I saw this on Instagram. Uh, Waste Mailing. Seth said something about this one and Selected Poems of Ezra Pound. Everyone's all about Ezra Pound right now. I don't know much about Ezra Pound, but I know he's very popular and everyone who's cool about books is talking about Ezra Pound. So I need to get on that train. I don't was he a Nazi or something? I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. It's all secondhand. HP Lovecraft. Here's October right here. We're gonna be having fun in October right there. I need to read this. This has just been Bunch of short stories that are on my list. And here's another thing: they don't have to be novels for the months. You know what I mean? We're reading, dog. Like Nikolai Gogol, The Overcoat and Other Stories. I don't know necessarily if I'm going to read all of this Gogol. I also have Dead Souls down here. I don't know which one's which, but I need to find. I think it's in here, maybe. The Nose. There it is. I want to read The Nose more than this whole book, but I'll probably just read the whole book. But it was recommended by my dad. He's like, you got to read The Nose. He thought it was awesome. I don't know. Did you read The Nose? McCarthy. I got this on a binge because I saw it and I was like, oh, The Road. Uh, like, let's just go down the list. But All the Pretty Horses. I started listening to Blood Meridian, and then Spotify was like, "You are out of hours, and pick it up next month." I'm like, I can't do that. I can't pay attention. It's already rough enough paying attention without reading it like subtitles. So it's kind of when I gave up on just audiobooks, but I'm going to revisit that in May for my vacation. But All the Pretty Horses, Cormac McCarthy, it's on the list this year. I don't know when we're going to get to it. Same thing with The Rum Diary, Hunter S. Thompson. This was my first movie date with my wife. I didn't watch really a second of it, but I bought this, and I've always been a fan of Hunter S. Thompson. I just never read it. And this is probably where I'm going to break the rule of movies and books. Hunter S. Thompson, a novel. I don't think it's not. I know Hunter S. Thompson, but I don't know Hunter S. Thompson. So we're going to get to know Hunter S. Thompson a little bit better. And I think this is a good vacation book right here. All right, another high school nostalgia, The Great Gatsby. I have not seen the movie with Leo. I think there was another older movie. I did sloppily read this in high school. I remember the discussion, and I just remember I wasn't about the fuddy-duddy richness of it. Just gave me that like rich, decadent. I'm not into it. Punk rock. I want grime. But now I love the high affluence, wealth, extravagance, Voltaire nonsense, like Count of Monte Cristo wealth, like all in. Fascinating. So maybe this will be the scummy version of that. I don't know. Weird, weird spot. I think it's like I just got to plow through it and get out of the way. Pynchon V. Pynchon. I read last time I took the same trip. I read The Crying of Lot 49. Not this copy. I can't find my copy. It's around here somewhere. But that's when I didn't annotate and I didn't know how I liked bookmarks. I took a mechanical pencil and I went underline every single line in the entire book, every single one, to just keep my space. I'm not gonna do that again, but it worked for that book. I don't know if that book is resellable at all, but because the whole thing. So I have another copy of Pynchon. Pynchon is on the Cool Guy Who Reads list, along with David Foster Wallace and Mr. Gas here. But Pynchon is you're making book content. You need to Pynchon it up. And I mean, let's get away from the seriousness also. Let's get away from the seriousness. Let's go pop culture. We got Stephen, Mr. Maynard himself, Stephen King on writing. I think this is a memoir of the craft, but it's also some stuff on writing. And it's been like too afraid to start with me with writing. I have written so much stuff, but it's like, I don't know, pages and scraps. And I got published. It's not even up here now. It's over there. I got published. I'm in print, but like, if you want to write, man, you got to write. It's 2025. It starts new habits. You're making content about books. Create. This one has been in the family for a long time. My mom recommended it, and then my dad read it, and it's lost its cover. And what's wrong? Nothing. This is the consumerism. Like, this is an exercise in minimalism right here. It still works. This is a reader's copy. The Talisman, Stephen King. Nick from Books Are Sick. He is Stephen King. Stephen Kinging it up. So he has imprinted that in my head. Here's another minimalism score. I got this along with this is Carlos Castaneda's Don Juan, Teachings of Don Juan, a Yaqui Way of Knowledge. I got this with Solzhenitsyn's Day in the Life of Ivan Denisovich. I did not read this one. I read the other one and I purged it. I wish I had it. It was one of those old school paperback 70s copies with like the purple. It was a cool book. Very enjoyable read. And then I think my dog grabbed this one and he started ripping it apart. And I'm like, no, still good. So this is another one of those still good books. And that is the list, except for, let me look around. We'll talk about journaling at another time. Look, we're going to put the journals right here. I don't know what's behind that. What is this? Oh, Sun for Cables. Okay, and that's 24. And we got one more. The Big GR. Here it is. Gravity's Rainbow. January. I'm on page 3. I'm also on page 2. No, I don't even think I started Dubliner Spot. I heard it's 4 parts. And we're going to reread it at some point. Might as well start learning how to annotate in the new year, take some notes, and we're going to check this out. This is what's on the menu for January for the NSB. Should we call it NSB or NSG? I don't know. This is fun. But I've been holding off telling anybody. I was actually going to go buy another copy of this, like one of the newer copies, because this is a first edition. I don't know if it's a first printing or anything, but like the whole ethos. Read the old cool books. Get the vintage. Get the used. This one's in great condition. Hold it in your hand, bro. It's not, it needs to be alive. It can't just, it's not a museum. It's not a museum. You know what I mean? How do you feel about this? I know after, if I get some real gems, they'll just stay there. I can get a second copy. Well, I'll buy after this one. I'll get another Infinite Jest just to have another nice copy in a different. Same thing with the Tunnel. I'll get another copy. But like, should I not use this one because it's a first edition? No, man. Read it. So I kind of wanted to get the smell of the book, see what the print looked like. But there it is. There's the bookmark right there. Gravity's Rainbow. And I got time off, so we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. But guys, what are your reading goals for 2025? This for me is lofty. This is a big goal. Big goal. Help me. Let's make it happen. Like and subscribe. This is Macaroni Books for 2024. Thank you so much. You the support and love that I'm getting from everybody, it's just unmatched. And we're going to work on our eloquence along with our gratefulness and our vulnerability with showing it in the next year. Happy reading. Sayonara. I am signing off, and I will see you in the next year. Hope you had a wonderful holidays. And yeah, that's it. Sayonara. Happy New Year. Out. Love you.